Hi Virgo, welcome to your March 2020 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thanks to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, I actually won't be offering those until around April. If I do start them up earlier than that, though, I'll make an announcement on the community section of the channel, so keep an eye out for that. And at the very least, when I start posting the April general videos, I'll make an update there too. As far as what we have in front of us, this is what I call the bridging the gap spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest, and the cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. And these are the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. As for the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. And also, as I'm going through the descriptions of these cards, if you feel like this is more your energy on the right side and that's their energy on the left, then definitely trust that too. But for the sake of it being a little less confusing, I'll be referring to the cards on this side as your energy. Alright? So with all that out of the way, past energy on your side, we have Fortune, which is the equivalent of the Wheel of Fortune. Magic, which is the equivalent of the Magician, and Princess of Arrows, which is the equivalent of the Page of Swords. So, interesting energies here. So, Fortune, my mind goes to Jupiter, which is the ruler of Sagittarius, and recently it actually transitioned out of your 4th house into your 5th house of creativity. So, this could just be saying that for some of you, maybe you had some shift in your life in that area, as far as maybe your creativity might have picked up, for example. Maybe it's had you manifesting a lot more things in your life. Now, 5th house can also be 11 romance too, so that, having that shift of having Jupiter move into that sign might have actually made you more willing and able to actually manifest a love relationship into your life and actually taking action to that end, with the Princess of Arrows showing up in the past year. So this could just be saying that maybe some of you might have made a love offer to someone in the past. But I do have to say, for some of you too, another way I could see this, it could just be saying that your energy might have shifted to that area of life where maybe you were just really focusing on creativity and not really putting too much effort into your love life. That's another way it could be playing out. But yeah, seeing the Princess of Arrows here, though, with those two cards does lead me to believe that for at least a good portion of you, this probably does say that you guys did make a love offer in the past to this person. And past energy on their side, we have Temperance. So this is actually Sagittarius energy. So I could see this playing out a few different ways too. For those of you where, like I said, if this was, you guys were just really swept up in getting creative projects off the ground, maybe just really staying busy. This type of energy here, Sagittarius energy, whether you're actually dealing with the Sagittarius or this is just someone who takes on that energy, could just be saying that this was a person who, if you didn't have the energy or time to put into a relationship, they're perfectly capable of keeping themselves busy too. So it could just be one of those things where maybe both of you are just really wrapped up in your own thing, and neither of you are really putting too much energy into the connection in the past. Another way this could be playing out too, it could just be saying that you guys might have had a really high comfort level with this person, given that for you guys, Sagittarius is your 4th house of home. So, you might have just felt like you just immediately got into a comfort zone with this person. It felt like a very balanced, exciting connection. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. Present energy on your side, we see a shift because we have the 4 of Cups and we have the 7 of Coins in reverse. So definitely interesting energy here. Seeing these two cards come up in the present leads me to believe that for some of you, this can be pointing to one of the other scenarios I was saying, which is to say that maybe this is saying you weren't actually putting much effort into a love relationship at all, more that you were just focusing on creative projects, getting things off the ground in that regard. Maybe some of you are writers or musicians, and you really just hit this hot streak where you're getting a lot of material out and not really focusing much on your love lives. But with the 4 of Cups here, this is always a frustrating energy when I see it, because the 4 of Cups, if we think about how it looks in the traditional tarot, there's 3 cups in front of the person and there's a 4th on the way, and they're sitting there with their arms crossed, which shows that they're not satisfied with what's being offered, but at the same time, they're making no effort to get up and go after what they do want, right? So that could be the type of energy you guys are in now, where whatever offers are at play in your love life, you're not necessarily happy with them, but at the same time, you're not really going after what you do want. And then the Seven of Coins almost emphasizes that as well, because the Seven of Coins in the upright for me usually represents someone looking into whether they want to continue to invest, right? Usually it's a reevaluation period where you look at the work you've put in up to this point. You're like, okay, I've gotten to 7. Is it worth to continue this effort to eventually get to 10, right? Or should I shift my focus elsewhere? So to me, with the 7 coming up in reverse, along with the 4 of Cups, this is just saying that you're not really putting any effort into your love lives. For some of you, again, it can be because things are taking off for you in other areas of your life. That's certainly a possibility. But to see these 2 cards in particular showing that, it feels like you're not necessarily happy with that either, though. So it's an interesting energy there. But either way, that's what I'm seeing. Looks like you're not really happy with what is at offer, but at the same time, you're not really putting in any work to go after what you do want. Okay, present energy on their side. We have the 4 of Wands, which is Aries energy, 8 of Swords, which is Gemini energy, and 8 of Wands, which is more Sagittarius energy here. So some of you could definitely be dealing with a Sag. These 3 cards are interesting too, because the 4 of Wands, it's an Aries energy, represents usually the desire for stability and actually taking action toward that. But then right after we see that card, we have almost the exact opposite, which is the 8 of Swords, which is usually a stagnant energy where you're stuck in your head. You're thinking things through over and over again, but not really taking action toward them. Feeling like you're stuck in some way, shape, or form, but for the most part, it's self-inflicted. And then we see the 8 of Wands, which is pretty much, quite literally the opposite energy of that, which is taking the action. So it can just be that, in a way, you guys might actually be in very similar energies. So in the past, in one way, you guys might have been in similar energies where you were just maybe, again, focusing on other areas of your life. Maybe things were taking off for you guys and you're both very busy, not really putting much effort into your love lives. Now it looks like the 2 of you, or especially this side, looks like they're more open to love now, but at the same time, they're not really taking the action. It's like, this is how I see it. It's like, this is what they want, right? That stability, that fun, that passionate sexual connection, maybe too, because this is Aries energy. For you guys, that is your 8th house. But at the same time, with that 8 of Swords, they're stuck, right? So this could even just be saying that maybe they have some demons in their past that they're trying to get past. The reason I say that is because this figure in the corner there looks just like the figure that they use for the devil in this particular deck. So that's what I'm saying. They could have some unresolved issues from their past that they're still trying to get through that's holding them back from taking action. Now, one way I can read this is to say that they will actually move past that blockage and actually end up taking action ultimately. But for some of you, you might find that this is just more of the same, where you guys seem to be stuck where you're not going after what you want. And at the same time, they might be there for a bit too, with that 8 of Swords energy. But seeing the 8 of Wands here, I will say that for at least a decent portion of you, it looks like they will actually take action. So there is that. But yeah, you might just, and it could just be as simple as the fact that at the time of recording this, we have Mercury retrograde in the opposite sign. So it could just be as simple as that. That could be a temporary blockage. So especially if you felt like things were going well in the past, now all of a sudden you feel like you hit this roadblock, things aren't really moving, the energy is stagnant. Watch for that to free up as we get a little bit later into the month of March. Once Mercury's done with its retrograde and comes out of shadow and everything. Future energy on the other side, we have the 2 of Arrows. So Libra energy here, but still overall it's an energy of indecisiveness. Some cards it's referred to as a truce energy, but here I see it as more of, you're undecided, not really taking action. And the difference here, though, with the artwork in this particular, that could just be saying that maybe you're getting some signs from the universe, whether it be while you're in your dream state. Maybe you just see synchronicities. Maybe you hear, since we did see the music symbolism there, maybe you hear a certain song or something that makes you think of this person. So you might be receiving signs as to whether you should, get with this person or not. But it looks like, again, it's not necessarily something that you're really eager to take action on, but it might be more where you might just start to feel like you're being nudged from the universe to take action in some way, shape, or form. And the future energy on their side is the World card. So on one hand, this card, especially in this deck, points to completion, but also gratification. So obviously, that could just be saying that this can point to things can move forward between the two of you. But I mean, given the overall vibe that I'm feeling with this spread, beyond that, I would say that for some of you, this could actually represent this person having a bit of a take it or leave it attitude as well, where if you're just coming off, like, let's say, for example, they are taking some kind of action toward you, and the Four of Cups represents you not really wanting to reciprocate, right? This could just be pointing to them eventually saying, as far as the World card goes, that it's a complete cycle, right? They might feel like, okay, well, I've put in the effort. This person doesn't seem to be moving in any way, shape, or form, and then they might just move on, especially if, we have seen quite a bit of Sagittarius energy in the spread. So whether it's a Sagittarius or not, if that's the energy they embody, they're not too, shy to move forward and just, put something behind them. I mean, that's the case for all mutable signs. You guys are mutable as well. So I'm sure you can relate to a certain extent. But yeah, that might be one of those things where you're like, all right, well, as far as I'm concerned, I put in the effort, wasn't being reciprocated, I'm going to move on, you know? But, so that's what I'm saying. It's an interesting dynamic that I see here. Like I said, in the past, it looks like whether you guys were enjoying each other's company or just doing your own thing, being fulfilled and happy, looks like you guys are in the same energy there. In a way, I still kind of see you guys in similar energies here. If anything, though, maybe in the past you might have been more willing, since we did see that Page of Swords in the past. Here it looks like they're the ones who are more willing, but still possibly a bit stuck too. And then in the future, it looks like you're not moving and they're viewing something as completed one way or the other. So that's why I say for some of you, it can be that you do get the forward movement. Others view might be this person viewing the situation as stuck and taking it as a sign to move on. We'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix in that regard. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have Princess of Coins. So this is actually the equivalent of the Page of Pentacles. So for some of you, this could just represent that energy where, you might want to offer, make an offer of stability to this person, but for whatever reason, you just might be sitting on that offer, not really actually coming forward. Again, maybe this is even you looking at the past offer that you might have already made and, wondering if anything was ever going to come of it. But what sticks out to me is the way the trees look there. It looks like they're kind of dying out a bit. If we look at her facial expression, she doesn't look all that happy either. So that's why I'm feeling like this could be viewed almost like a missed opportunity in a way. And then we see the Seven of Cups beneath that too. So could definitely be some confusion, not really knowing which way to move forward. Like I said, if that's the case, it could just be the retrograde. Quite frankly, I view this is looking a little confusing to me too. So really can just be, hopefully, just a matter of the retrograde for you guys and it'll clear up. Bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Ten of Wands. So more Sagittarius energy. So yeah, some of you could definitely be dealing with a Sagittarius. Usually this can sometimes in the traditional tarot be viewed as a burden, but it also can be viewed as someone putting in the work, coming to a completion there. And in this deck in particular, it actually represents, both people putting in the effort. So I do have to say that at least at this point, it looks like the focus has shifted some to where maybe in the past you might have been willing to put in more effort. It looks like you're ditching that idea, at least in the present. It looks like they want to put in more effort, but I'm not sure if they're going to take that action with that Eight of Swords thing. So it's interesting energy here where maybe you guys are just having trouble getting on the same page. Like I said, maybe this is just as simple as a minor blip with the retrograde, but that's what I'm seeing. We'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix. First, we'll see if we get anything from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck. So for those of you who haven't seen this type of reading from me before, I actually do pre-shuffle this deck before we start recording. And then I'm just looking for some jumpers here. So first I'll be looking for unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while and nothing's coming up, I just take it as a sign to keep it moving, since it's just a general reading. But if you're wondering why I do the personal readings, I actually always pull for both sides. All right. So with that said, let's see if we have any unspoken messages from you to them. Okay, nothing coming up yet, but I'll give it a couple more shuffles. Oh, got one, but it actually fell, so I'll pick it up in a bit, but let's see if we have any unspoken messages from them to you. Almost had one there. Okay, nothing coming up here, but same thing, I'll give a few more shuffles. Oh, and we got one there too. So let me just pick both of those up and we'll take a look at them. All right. So on your side, we have I've looked you up online to see what you've been up to. Interesting to see this here actually, because I usually don't look at that energy this way, but some readers do refer to the page of swords energy, which is what this is, the Princess of Arrows, as the quote unquote stalker card. So it can be as simple as that. Maybe this is someone from your past. Maybe you guys went your separate ways. Maybe some of you might have even gone to school with this person. And, maybe so that's where once you guys were done with school, maybe you both moved to your separate cities or whatever. But this could say that maybe that's what that Page of Swords energy is representing. Whereas I was actually seeing it more like extending an offer to them. Maybe this was just you looking into them to see what they were up to. So that could be what this is saying here with the I've looked you up online to see what you've been up to. But again, the present energy doesn't seem to really fit that, as far as it looks like you're not really happy and making any effort toward anything, but maybe I'm reading that wrong. So hopefully that resonated for you guys. And then here we have I feel safer in the silence. So interesting energy there too. Where I could see that playing out is more, I would say, in the present with that Eight of Swords energy that we're seeing there. But at the same time, it's also a little frustrating there too, because it's like it looks like they want the stability, they want the connection and commitment, but you know, it's like that Eight of Swords is blocking them from taking the action, So I don't know what in particular would make them feel like they feel safer in the silence, but it does seem to match the theme, at least in the present on their side a bit. So hopefully that resonated with you guys. And lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here. Same situation. I did pre-shuffle this deck, but here we're just looking for one card, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, nothing coming up here, but I'll give it a few more shuffles. Worst case, I will actually pull a card from here regardless, so we'll see if we get a jumper or not. Okay, nope, so let me just put the deck down, and give me a second, we'll just pull one. Okay, let me just put this here. Alright, we have Orphaned. There's the artwork, and the number is 5. So let's see what this has to say. Okay, it says a sense of loss, an identity crisis, recognizing that you don't fit in, the need to belong, uncertainty about your place. So I will say the recognizing that you don't fit in, that almost makes me think of the Four of Cups energy here, where, this is someone, like I said, who what's being offered to them, they don't necessarily like what's being offered, but at the same time, they're not going after what they do want, you know what I mean? So maybe that's pointing to, but let's see what the Oracle's message says. It says, we were all meant to have connections with other people, within our families, society, and the larger culture. No man is an island, and it's important to recognize when being a part of, rather than separate from, is essential to your well-being. The issue at hand is the need to find where you fit. Be true to your core truths and values. Perhaps you no longer identify with a group or a community the way you did before and need to find a new situation. You might be feeling a deep sense of loss or confusion. Address the need for belonging and know that you will find your place with others of like mind and spirit. It's okay to let go of pressure to fit in. Not everyone will understand you. It's time to move on. So definitely interesting energy there. And, maybe that might have even been a theme that started to come up for you guys while Jupiter was moving through your fourth house, because, again, that's a transit that points to home. So that might have even exacerbated the issue where you guys really couldn't ignore the fact anymore that maybe you weren't fitting in the environment that you were in. And again, that could be what the Four of Cups energy is pointing to as well, especially since Cancer is the natural ruler of the fourth house, which is to say that maybe you guys have outgrown the place in a certain way. As for the relationship message, it says, as you shift and evolve and commit to your own growth, you long for support, but may be disappointed and hurt by others who are not providing what you feel you deserve. Perhaps you are drifting away from this relationship because you're in a different stage of personal growth. Perhaps you are in a new relationship and discovering that you don't share the same values and beliefs, so you feel left out, unable to get to that intimate place of safety and belonging. Take heart, as Spirit knows you and loves you, and will steer you in the direction of those who accept you as you are without artifice or agenda. Don't compromise yourself to belong. It won't be worth the price. So definitely an interesting message there. I mean, pretty much in all scenarios, it's always best to be your authentic self. But again, that makes me think of the Four of Cups energy that we were seeing there, and also that Seven of Pentacles in reverse, saying that, maybe you're not willing to put in any effort anymore in a certain situation. But I mean, not gonna deny it, it's a pretty dark energy there, and like I said, it feels like this is definitely a bit of a weird energy, quite frankly, for me. So hopefully you guys could get more insight if you check out your rising sign or moon sign. But we'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.